Hey everybody, my name is Josh. I'm about to do a vintage cube draft, and we hopped right into it, which is fantastic. Looking at this pack immediately, a few things stand out. I think Lelia is a busted card. It's also the only red card in the pack. But if I didn't take that, Coalition Relic is pretty much a card that keeps you completely open. And there's some other good ones here: Garrick, Shark Typhoon, Mox Diamond, uh, etc. But yeah, I think Lately is a slam dunk. Abbott's good if we want to force mono red. However, it's also just pretty medium. It's not a card that jumps you into red. Um, I'm kind of more inclined to take Fiery Islet here. So, um, one advice I'd give people who are just getting into Vintage Cube is that, or any kind of cube in general, whether it's Arena or Magic Online, you're the most winning decks have as little sideboard space as possible, and the reason for that is because so many of your picks go into lands. If your sideboard is like 10 cards, you're probably going to win a lot of matches. So this is just a good fixing utility land that kind of keeps us open. My favorite deck with Lelia are the blue-red kind of tempo decks, so I'm just going to snag this. Alrighty, so we have plenty of good options here, and I don't know exactly what's best. We got Steam Vents, obviously, that's incredibly powerful. Time Warp, super strong. I just cannot see taking that over Days or Vents, though. Um, Probably Steam Vents. Um, Again, fixing in Vintage Cube is so incredibly powerful. The fact that this is an island mountain, you can fetch it, comes into play untapped if you want. All incredibly good. Kolaghan's Command is also a highly powerful card, but and Swords of Plowshares too. But what I love about this pack is probably something's going to wheel. I think any kind of Triumph you can get, even though this is even in red, um, it just keeps you so open. Alrighty, well here's the Super Late Goblin Guide. So this is probably with Ragavan the best possible one drop you can get in red. Again, we don't have to be mono red, but this is an incredibly good start to a blue red tempo deck. So probably gonna slam dunk this. I don't expect Polluted Delta to come around, but if I got that, I'd be really happy. Jitte, Time Spiral, all good cards, but we're taking the Goblin Guide. Okay, I'm not super crazy about this pack. I think Grim Lavamancer is fine, but as far as red one drops go, I'm always super unimpressed by this card. I mean, um, there is the late game inevitability where you just shock them every turn, but it's not exactly what I want to be doing. But it's still fine though. Otherwise, we could take Gideon Blackblade if we want to be Boros aggro, but that's probably not what we're gonna do. I think Lavamancer is a decent card. We'll slam dunk it. All right, this is ooh. I was gonna say that this is a very easy Bone Crusher Giant. However, we also have Stoneforge Mystic, and that is very late on that card. This is probably one of the best white aggressive cards you can get, but Bone Crusher Giants is way too much value. And obviously, it's a really good red card, which if we force mono red, this is fantastic. But blue red tempo, we're kind of setting ourselves up to be that deck. And Bone Crusher Giant is just such a good value play. So jamming it. Oh, Skull Clamp. This is way too easy of a Skull Clamp. Take it. Caracas, incredibly powerful. So this is the kind of card I'm surprised to still be late in the pack. And going to my earlier point where I think the best decks are going to be the decks that have the least sideboard cards. it's because you prioritize cards like Karakas. Vintage Cube, you have so many playable cards that a card like Karakas is just like almost a spell that you put into your land spot, and that's what puts you over the edge in other matchups. But yeah, jamming Skull Clamp here. Probably take Mirish's Factory again. I see white is very, very open, but we're so far from that. Not to say that we can't be white later, but taking Bonecrusher Giant over like Stoneforge Mystic, I'm super confident that that was the right pick, just based on our position. We don't have to be playing blue. We can be mono red, but let's take what we can get. And then again, Rishon Import. Yeah, this is a slam dunk pick. If this weren't in the pack, I'd be taking Disenchant. This card's just very powerful. But yeah, we just take this. Here's Poetic Ritual, but we're probably not going to take it. Oust is pretty good. I just don't know what we would be taking. We're going to take this, but probably not play it. This is a slam dunk in this kind of deck. Liliana is incredibly late. This card's very good, but we're red and proud. Again, white's super open. If I were to play white, I'd take Elite Spellbinder. The reason being, you can only activate Lion Slash so many times with a limited white mana. Wow, that card wheeled. So quick about me, I've been playing Magic for over a decade. I'm trying to talk and play. This is my first stream ever, but this is something I've always been wanting to do. So I really hope that people appreciate this kind of content. I've been playing Magic for over a decade. I have multiple IQ top eights and whatnot. But to be honest with you, the last few years, that's especially post pandemic, I've been strictly only doing Magic Online and Vintage Cube or any kind of cube format. I definitely think Cube Limited is the best way to play Magic. I hate construction formats because you invest a lot of money in the deck and into any deck, and then very quickly it starts feeling very repetitive. Cube where you play a set of 3 matches and each one is different, or each 3 matches is with a different deck. It constantly feels new and fresh and creative and fun. So Dragon Rage Chandler is just a red 1-drop. That's what we want. I think it sucks passing library. Actually, good chance Dragon Rage Chandler might wheel, but this is the kind of deck that's just going to dump a ton of shit out and probably wouldn't make the best use of the library. Here we have Sulfuric Vortex. It looks like we're going to be mono red, probably, unless we get like a Time Walk or something. Might not be playing these blue lands, but that's fine. I mean, Fiery is lit. I'll play in any red deck. Jamming this. There's nothing even close to it in the pack. Okay, so here's a hard decision. So we have Monastery Swiftspear, who is a red 1-drop, and that kind of fits the criteria of the best possible card you can put in this kind of deck. But there is Dak Faden. We have really good blue fixing. I think I take Dak here. The reason being Monastery is probably going to wheel. Doesn't look like anybody else is in red. I'm going to jam this, though. Issue is that I have really good white cards, and if I do end up being Boros, then Dak Faden's awkward. Yeah, that being said, I'm probably going to take Swiftspear. Again, Dak Faden is a card that it's like pretty 50-50 right now. I might play it. Monastery Swiftspear is just 100% a good card that I want to play. So. Okay, we're gonna jam Embereth Shieldbreaker here. So this is a really good play. Alongside like Rishon Port, if we can like blow up a Mox and then hold back their mana while we jam in with our early plays, then we're probably gonna win the game. Um, the only other card, ooh, hold up, I did not see the Sacred Foundry. I was gonna say the only other card I want is Red Elemental Blast for sideboard because that card is just phenomenal, but I still think we stick with Ember Shieldbreaker. This is a very good play. Grim Monolith is great, but it's not really what our deck wants to do. If I had like a higher curve and I had like Inferno Titan or the Dragon Thundermaw Hellkite, the, jamming those out on turn 3 with Grim Monolith would be fantastic, but we're not there. In fact, I love our curve right now. Take the Sunbaked Canyon and see where the draft takes us. Here, there aren't any great red cards. There's Kiki Jiki, but that is definitely not what this deck is trying to do. Best card in the pack for us is probably Gideon, but that is double white, which we don't even know that we're going to be doing. I think it's more realistic that we end up playing Containment Priest, which is a good sideboard card. Besides that, there is a blue-red land, which if we wanted to stick to the possibility of being blue is a good card to take, but I'm just going to take Containment Priest. I mean, this does hose some matchups. This pack's kind of a dud. We have Silverbelly Paladin. That's a great aggro card. We have Bergie, but she doesn't really do anything. She's a 3/3 for 3, and then the rest of her text is pretty irrelevant. I didn't even know she had a boast ability. That's crazy. I guess the question here is like, what are we more likely to play? I mean, a 3/3 for 3 in an aggro deck is just kind of good stats, but I'd probably still take Bergie. The reason being she has that flip side to her. So here there's Goldspan Dragon, and this is a good card. We don't have anything at the top of our curve. However, Thalia is just one of the best aggressive cards there is, so it's not even close. Thalia, especially getting at this late, really hedges us towards being aggro, Boros aggro. So we just jam it. So here's kind of an interesting pick because the right pick's Incinerate. However, there's a Pestermite, which Pestermite, even though we don't have Twin, we do have blue fixing, and it's we have the option to open in a Splinter Twin. And then there's also Dark Confident, and our curve really caps out at 3, but we're so far from that. I think Incinerate's just a great card. I have to remind myself what this card does. Yeah, that's good. So this card is fantastic, and I think it's a great aggro card. Issue that it's a 5-drop, and we're just so far from that. Parallax Wave is also a really good aggro card. It saves your own team from wraths, and it takes their blockers out of the game. So probably a card we're not going to play. This is a very late Deceiver Exarch, so nobody's on Twin, it seems like. We just take it. And I mean, we can be Twin. I've played plenty of mono red decks that turn into or an aggressive Twin deck over time. Wow, look at both these cards. There is some really aggressive green cards too that we've seen. We've seen Huntmaster of the Fells. We've seen Elder Karkaroth. We've seen Questing Beast, but none of those are even close to what we're trying to do right now. And even Ophiomancer is not a bad aggressive card. Okay, so the best card here is Fractured Identity. What is this trying? Plains, Swamp, Forest. 3 colors that we're Probably not. Actually, this being a plains, swamp forest, misty rainforest can actually get either this or steam vents, so that would be red-white fixing. However, and there's other good white aggressive cards here, but I think we just slam Glorybringer. I mean, we don't even have anything at the top for curve. There's great white cards. I would love any of these to wheel, and they probably will. We've gotten every white card to wheel so far this draft, but for a card like Elshire of the Fallen or Vanto Vanguard, we're a deck that might not even have white mana on the first 2 turns, and that's not great. Glorybringer is just always phenomenal. Blow up their attack at blocker, kill their planeswalker, just go face. Okay, this is an interesting pick because there's Hellrider, but then there's also Plateau. Hellrider is one of the best possible 4-drops you can get. Here's the issue I have. We can never play Gideon. He's double white. We're just not going to get there. We cannot consistently play this on turn 3, so he's out. This card is not a card we want to run main board. This card's great, but I mean, this is not a reason to play white. And Showdown is fantastic. This card's phenomenal, but just for consistency, Hellriders is such a slam dunk pick here. Okay, this is the best red card ever printed. It'd be ahead of Lightning Bolt, so that's not even up for debate. I cannot think of a better card that we could have gotten in this deck. It's funny because I just quick glanced at this pack. I didn't see Ragavan, and then I thought it was kind of mid, like we're gonna have to settle for Light Up the Stage, which I hope wheels, and probably will, but yeah, no explanation needed. Here's Splinter Twin. We do have Deceiver Exarch. It's not a definite improbability. It's competing with Palace Jailer here, so there's like the best possible white payoff. Oh, you know what? I forgot we have Thalia. We have the best possible white payoff, and then we also have, I mean, the combo with this other card that we have. Issues that we don't really have much card draw, so a lot of games we'll just get Twin and never see Exarch. It's also Imperial Recruiter. I'd probably take him. I mean, Twin might wheel, but yeah. Oh, it took Palace Jailer. Last second there, I decided to go Twin, and did not happen, but that's fine. Here, there's probably a bunch of cards that we're not going to play. This card could be fine in our deck. I don't know. So real quick, we have 16 playable cards, which probably isn't enough. There's also Armageddon. I might take Armageddon just because it is looking like we might have to splash white just to get enough playables, which isn't the end of the world. Swift reconfiguration. This card's not bad. I might just stick with Direfleet. Direfleet's really good, especially in this cube, because if you play against a person that drafts Ancestral Recall or Time Walk, it's just phenomenal. This is a slam dunk Hazoret. I actually think Adeline is one of the best white cards you can get, but we're just so far from there. Hazoret really goes into our 4-drop slot quite nicely. And here 8 cards that we're not going to play, so I'm just going to take Seachrome Coast. And the white cards wheeled that we wanted, and take a Donto out of these. Again, I mean, the probabilities, you think about probabilities and you always keep that in mind, and you're going to win more games of Magic. It's just not likely that we're going to have white mana every single game on turn 1. So, going in on a 1-drop, even though it's fantastic, a little risky. Wow, look at that. Recruiter of the Guard, yeah. Oh, and then Imperial Recruiter wheeled. We get both back-to-back recruiters. That's cool. Liana Relic Warder is the better card, but again, we're just far from that. Really wish I had a fetch land, but that's okay. Wow. Okay, so we have 23 cards here. Let's put us at 17 lands. That's pretty perfect. I wish I could get away with playing Adeline or Gideon, but this is not in the realm of possibility. I like Palace Jailer. I realize that he's a double white card, but the power level on Palace Jailer is so much higher. If you don't draw your double white card until turn 6, or your double white source until turn 6 or 7, and you jam Palace Jailer, then he's still incredibly relevant, and he can probably win you the game at that point. Whereas if you play a turn 7 out of line, it's just doo doo. Yeah, so I would come in with 17 lands here. That might be a bit much, but you have to remember that some of our lands kind of act as spells. Like we have these 2 cycling lands here. We have Richardson and Port. Obviously, we're not playing Steam Vents. Everything else looks fantastic, though. All right, so I have 6 white sources for 5 white cards. I'm tempted to take out Mersh's Factory just to guarantee that we hit our colors. I think that's fine. Just throw planes in. We have 11 red sources. Seven white sources kind of makes me want to play Adeline because she's so strong. And that might be a better turn 3 play than Imperial Recruiter. Imperial Recruiter does get us a lot though. I think it's fine. I'm not going to stress over it. I want to take some time, give all my viewers some puppy tax. So this is Biscuit. This is a 13-week-old husky that we rescued recently. She is incredibly ornery and likes to chew on things, but I love her. I'm going to pick up my bigger dog. And this is Dot. This is our 70-pound, 2-year-old Great Pyrenees mix that we also rescued. That was a workout. Like lifting her. We are on the play. This hand looks bussing. Play around Wasteland. There's no reason to lead on Plateau. I'm not going to F6 through any of my turns, even though they're probably not going to target Advanto, but it's the fact that we have them and we could activate them. Excuse me. This is like a Hymn to Turok. Our hand's not that great, honestly. Oh, that kind of sucks. They're like discarding Shark Typhoon to get like Incinerate. I don't care. It is actually kind of awkward though that we drew Showdown of the Skulls because we have every high drop of our deck. The only good thing about this position is that every draw we have from here is gas. I mean, we're not going to draw any 5 or 4 drops. I think this is it. We're either going to draw land or playable spells. So, do not care about that fucking card. I mean, I'm probably going to attack it, but I definitely don't want him playing Lelia. Showdown is just an absurd value card. Like, look at these cards we got. If you guys see me like, kind of going back and forth, it's because I have this standing desk, which I love. He's killing my Runaway Steamkin, which is whatever. That's the scariest card we've seen from them thus far. So. Play Islet here. We're probably just going to pass up on these. I'm just going to jam his Ashiok with Glorybringer. No, the only good thing about his Ashiok is it's really soaked up damage for him. I mean, we've put at least 6-7 damage towards it so far this game, which could have gone face, but I mean, we're going to beat his clock without a doubt. So he's like definitely holding up Counterspell here, but I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. We'll play Hazoret. We'll let him counter it. Oh, or maybe he's just bluffing. Well, good thing about Hazoret, I don't think it's the best red card in the world, but okay, my opponent just disconnected. Indestructible is a really big deal. The fact that this thing can attack and block, sometimes against like a green deck or maybe a white aggro deck, use Jam Hazoret and they cannot deal with it. So, a lot of decks can't. Kind of similar to like Adonto Vanguard, where we're playing against Black Blue. I didn't think they'd be able to kill it. Collective Brutality did. It's just one of those things that what am I trying to say? Sorry, I'm like multitasking here. This is all very new to me for stream, so um, I wonder if he's going to bounce here, in which case I don't care. I'll attack like this. He's probably going to bounce Hazoret. If he does, we're going to Bone Crusher Giant his Ashiok to pump Glorybringer with the Showdown ability. Oh, I meant to play Bone Crusher. We'll do it here post combat. We missed out on a point of damage. It doesn't fucking matter. What does he have, like a Factor Fiction? What did he even like Demonic Tutor for? He didn't do anything. Does he realize he's done on board, or? I could have probably done this on his upkeep. It doesn't fucking matter though. I reveal my hand. What did he Demonic Tutor for? I mean, such a powerful card, and then just literally didn't play anything the rest of the game. I mean, he no excuse. He could have grabbed anything that is playable. So, going into sideboard, I'm definitely bringing in Containment Priest, maybe even Elite Spellbinder. Both these cards are pretty good. I'm gonna take out Imperial Recruiter is probably our weakest card, and then Bergie. Containment Priest is kind of a shot in the dark, but if he has any reanimation package at all, obviously you want her in here, and then also Bribery is a really good card against that. So. Oh yeah, one important note about game one, we didn't see a single piece of artifact mana against him. So Armageddon is just kind of like MVP in that scenario. This hand looks pretty good. That card's scary. Thing about Mind Twist though is like, I mean, yeah, obviously I'm gonna get like X for one, but him like taking off a turn to do that isn't the end of the world for me. I'm gonna place Fiery Islet here because if I do get Mind Twisted, I'd rather have this in play. The damage just does not matter in this matchup. I'm gonna start on Runaway Steamkin. You want to get this down as soon as possible. Basalt Monolith. And I was talking about artifact mana earlier. Mind Twist, if in a deck where I haven't seen artifact mana, it just is not. It's just whatever. So him spending 3 mana here to loot is nothing. Okay, well that card's scary, and I really hope I can draw a white mana here. Although if I don't, I have Shield Breaker. We have him the 12 here. From his perspective, I think the best play is to Mind Twist me for 3. Here's the thing about Shield Breaker. So we've seen 2 artifacts from him. We see Battle Sphere. We've seen Basalt Monolith. Basalt Monolith I'm not really afraid of because it doesn't net a mana the turn it comes into play. You know, you play Basalt Monolith, you don't get rewarded until the next turn. And that all kind of comes into Mind Twist. I mean, I think realistically we're going to get Mind Twisted for 3 here. But is that really the winning play? And I ask that because if I were him and I was getting beat down by a red deck, I would try to get Mirror Battlesphere into play as soon as possible. So it doesn't really make sense in Mind Twist. You want to reanimate this turn. He's looting again. You might not even have a reanimation card. Also, we get twisted here. I'm probably going to pop Fiery Islet. The reason being I don't have white mana for Priest. And we're pretty far away from Hazoret or Glorybringer. So, also, this is not irrelevant. Islet, popping it does feed Delirium towards DRC. Don't care. We're getting twisted. See, this is like, I guess I don't really care. Salt Monolith didn't do anything there. We have only Hazoret. Oh, if that's the case, I'm not popping Islet. I want to get a land. And we are rewarded. I am counting 11 damage. And assuming they have 0 way to deal with Hazoret, we just kill it with its ability next turn. So we are going face. Goblin Guide has gone him a few cards, but I mean, realistically, for 5 mana this turn, I don't see what he's going to do. Hazoret was a really lucky card for us to have post Mind Twist and with the land. I cannot think of a card that beats us here. Very cool. Hey everybody, we're back for another match. I'm gonna queue us up, and one thing I want to apologize for is mispronouncing Islet. I was saying Islet earlier. It's not really a common word, so you're gonna bust my balls over that. I think it'd be a little silly, but it's just one of those things. It's not every day that we go into islets or islets out here in the state of Kansas where I'm at. Very, very far from any sort of body of water or body of land surrounded by water. So we are queued up. We're playing mono red, turn motherfuckers sideways. Also, one more thing I want to say is my wife is right behind me. You probably saw her going in and out of the camera. So she is the best thing in my life, and we got married this year. And if I keep making these videos, there's probably going to be a lot of her in the background. One more thing I want to say is his hand is fucking busted. So let's go. I think she's laughing at me. And also one other mistake I made just now. I said we were playing mono red. This is actually red white turn motherfucker sideways. So it is what it is. Also, I'm going to try to keep this away from my face so you don't hear me breathe as much. Let's fucking go. You're at a mold of 5, and I am playing a turn 1 Ragavan, which I don't know about y'all. That sounds like a W right there. Turn 2 Thalia makes even better. I'm actually going to play Skull Clamp and Thalia off the treasure off Ragavan. Turn off all these fucking stops. Oh, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. Splinter Twin. Oh man, that's just a good card to see removed from their deck. I mean, obviously they can win here, but I would not say it's likely. It's like the dream start. Too bad I can't play that one. I'm actually just gonna run out Dire Fleet here. I'm not gonna equip anything to the Skull Clamp. I mean, honestly, it just kind of seems like running away with this game, and I don't know, having a bunch of 2/1 creatures, the majority of which have first strike when your opponent's doing nothing in the face of Thalia is probably a winning strategy. Now, one kind of scary thought here is that they have Deceived Exarch. But I still think I attack in though. I mean, if they eat Thalia and then take 8, that's not the worst draw. Oh, they have F6'd. Seems like I'm getting kind of laggy here. Yeah, it's because they conceded. All right. Against Splinter Twin, I might bring in an Elite Spellbinder. Again, Imperial Recruiter is probably my weakest card. Besides that, this is probably a good matchup for us. I mean, Splinter Twin's typically a slow deck. I mean, it's possible they kill you on um, turn 4, but that's just not likely that they have the perfect combo in their opening hand. More likely they're going to be trying to stabilize while you're beating down to their face. And then last match we should have brought in Red Elemental Blast. You know, when I drafted, I was talking about how good of a sideboard card this is. And obviously we want this in our opening hand. And then we'll just take out Palos Jailer because he's double white. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep Palos Jailer in. I think it's a better card than Berkey. My dogs are fighting behind me. Some more puppy tax. I've been told this is how you get all the Twitch views, so or YouTube views, whatever I'm doing with this. I haven't decided yet. I have 2 draws to get a land. I'm gonna mold this. The reason being, I honestly think this is keepable because Thalia is such a high upside play. The reason why I'm mulliganing is because I have 3/4 drops, and I would have to get 3 land draws to make most of my hand playable. And this hand looks great, so I'll keep it. And I don't really know here. I'll just put back Elite. Oh man, this is a hard one. I'm gonna put back Mountain. I think running 2 lands here on the draw is fine. And again, Elite is really good in this matchup. I mean, if you make their Splinter Twin cost 6, it's a night and day difference. It's a kind of funny thing about that. We hit Splinter Twin off Ragavan game one. Uh, it's just like so much of the jig is up. Like, they could have gone that entire game without that one thing happening, and I wouldn't know what deck they're on. But literally, that one interaction's like, okay, I'm gonna start. This is how I'm gonna play the game. Not just run into it. Um, Hold on, let me read this. Can I just Direfleet Gitaxian Probe on turn two? I'm gonna F6 and Google it while he does it. Like I said, I'm just gonna F6 to this turn. Oh, that is like a super weird ruling. I guess I'm gonna have to run out Direfleet turn two, assuming they don't play an artifact for me to blow up with Embrith. But um, I seriously don't know if I can cast Gitaxian Probe using Phyrexian Mana on turn two, and if not, then oh well. I guess I just played a 2/1 first strike on turn two, which is probably above average rate. So meanwhile, my opponent is doing jack shit, thinking hard about which island to play. One thing that really grinds my gears on Magic Online is just how slow some people are. Um, and I get it; it's a very um, old client, and that not everybody is familiar with this, but um, Ancient Tomb is really weird here. So we're gonna try this out. Because I'm not running into a Deceiver Exarch if I can get probe them. I was gonna talk to my opponent and tell him that I have no idea if this is gonna work or not. But we'll let him know if this resolves. Yep, it will let me. So nice. And I get the Surveil. I'm gonna put that in the yard because it is not a land. And look, I get a better one drop as a reward. He does have Deceiver, so I'm just gonna end my turn. Time Twister is a really weird card. Not saying it's bad. I mean, draw sevens are definitely good in any kind of blue base combo deck, but if he casted it here and I just got a fresh seven, I'd be really happy. We didn't even see white from him in game one, so the Teferi's a little surprising. Yep. Maybe I should tell my opponents that I'm starting a YouTube channel and that they're going to be on. Maybe I'll get some subscribers this way. If he jammed Time Twister, I'd be so happy. I mean, he would play a land time twister, and we would both ditch 5 up to a fresh 7. So I think we would mutually benefit. Obviously, difference is he's paying life with Ancient Tomb, but maybe that's the winning strategy. Maybe he's desperate to get um, find Splinter Twin. I mean, Deceiver Exarch for sure is holding down the fort right here. I can't attack into it. My hand's kind of blanked. If I did find a white source though, and I was able to exile his Teferi, that'd be fantastic. I mean, Teferi, if it comes down next turn, I'm just not doing anything. That'd be a little terrifying. Sower of Temptation. Sower's actually pretty good against me here. This is probably our roughest decision yet of this league. Because I have no answers, so I also just don't want him to have a Teferi. I think leaving him with Teferi gives us the biggest chance to lose. And I'll have to remember, but I don't think he's aware of Armageddon. I mean, this is a massive card to play around. He has 5 cards in hand. It's so annoying looking at how Magic Online just shows you the same fucking cards multiple times. What's the point of that? You got Sower. So we know 2 of the cards in his hand. He has Teferi, which is exile, so I'm gonna leave that up there. We got it's not the worst. I'm pretty sure I just got to dig towards literally anything to deal with the Sower. So that goes in my graveyard. This seems like a bad position for us, but the fact is, if we find anything to deal with this Sower, then we're just tremendously ahead. And we can start, obviously, equipping Skull Plant the things. I mean, I don't think Dragon Rage Channeler is really doing much. Minus her ability for non-creature spells. I think there's so many good draws we can get. So obviously, any burn spell is fantastic, but absolute best card I think we can get right now is Red Elemental Blast. Just being able to answer Sower or a Deceiver Exarch that's going to target a Splinter Twin. Be amazing. No surprise here. Honestly, if we answer Sower and then Armageddon, the game's over. I don't love that. I'm killing a Danto because we're not in a position to pay for life anytime soon. There is that card that we discussed. Let's drop Ragavan. Leave a Red Elemental Blast up. So I guess the question here, though, is if he Time Twisters, do we kill Exarch thinking that he could draw on the Twin, or do we kill Sower? So he's not tapping double red. I don't know what this is. This game's starting to get a little unwinnable. So I have to drop Sulfuric Vortex this turn. I can't have him gain your life. It's unfortunately played Wormcoil Engine because I could have attacked a Dire Fleet and then Bone Crusher Giant pre-combat with Deceiver, which would have killed it. So I know there's a lot to think about here, but Magic Online, where the clock magic matters, and just Magic in general, just lead with the plays that you know you have to make for the turn. Like I don't see a situation where I don't drop Sulfuric Vortex here. Sulfuric Vortex actually not only just kind of cuts off the lifelink from Wormcoil, but it really creates a clock that he's going to have to respect. He's dead in two attacks from Elite Spellbinder from now. So okay, so here's a question: if he Time Twisters, is he playing Teferi? Yeah, fuck. If he bounces Sulfuric Vortex, the game's probably over. Actually, wait, no, it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block with Dire Fleet and then kill my Dire Fleet with Bone Crusher to prevent him getting lifelink. We actually have quite a lot of draws to try and hit. Any kind of burn spell. I think I have to equip Ragavan here. Skull Clamp, start things off. It's actually really nice that we're at 8. That's relevant. Only 7 power on the board. There's the Vortex. So again, Magic Online, you always start with the turn you know you have to make. Oh, fuck. I should have equipped with Skull Clamp last turn, or earlier this turn on Plains. Because now I have to tap Fiery Islet, which will... Yeah, actually I have to block here with Monastery Swiftspear or I'll be dead to my own Sulfuric Vortex. This is a bit awkward. If he has any removal, all game's over, but I guess my deck doesn't have that much burn. We were both at 1. He can't use Ancient Tomb. He's going to get an extra draw with Teferi, but it would have been nice if I could have pointed Stomp to his face rather than having to use it on my own creature. Excuse me. Yeah, he's digging. Good chance we just won the game, but we'll see if he has any removal at all to this Monastery Swiftspear. So one thing kind of interesting is Armageddon. Yeah, that's game. Armageddon actually doesn't really have that high of a win rate. Like sometimes you just play it and the game's over, but in Vintage Cube, where there's a lot of very quick spells, very low cost, a lot of fast artifact mana, Armageddon actually isn't as powerful as it is in Legacy Cube, which is fine. I wonder if Parallax Wave is good here. I mean, just eating a Deceiver Exarch or a Wurmcoil Engine seems great, but I think I'll just keep it as is. I think all the 4-drop slots I have here are probably better. Even Armageddon, I know I'm just talking shit on this card, but I mean it is pretty good when you can just quickly get a board presence and maybe all they can put on the field is a Pestermite, and then you just blow up all lands. I'd love to go first. Well, I got the guy, so we'll see what happens. A turn 3 showdown would be pretty good. Of course, off the treasure of Ragavan. See, first game he mulled a 5, so hopefully we're that lucky again. Looks like he's thinking about it. Yeah, he mulls once. Damn, Worm Coil was such the perfect answer from the opponent that game. Honestly, I think it was really neck and neck. I mean, you saw in that game how close things got, but best red card ever printed. This hand is really land heavy. If I don't draw another land for the rest of the game, I'd be incredibly happy, but it's not how Magic works, right? Hopefully it doesn't have Swift reconfiguration or that card. I'll have seen that. This hand suddenly got a lot worse. That's alright, because we out here. So like him mulling, it makes Elite Spellbinder a lot better. I mean, the fact that he only has 4 cards, I'm gonna make one quote unquote unplayable is great. What I don't want to see here is Ancient Tomb. Him going Mox in the Tomb, playing a 4-drop in turn 2 is one way that we can just never get back in this game. Don't care. I'm just gonna F6. I ain't got shit to do. He plays a tap land. I love it. We draw infinite lands, which sounds bad, but we have Showdown next turn, which is going to be a massive saving grace for us. We actually stick Mulldrifter here. We don't give a shit about these other cards. I mean, obviously we see this combo. I would love for you to have a 7-mana Mulldrifter. Here's the thing. I actually kind of said this earlier because, you know, we drafted Splinter Twin and we got Deceiver Exarch. You hit the situation a lot, this kind of decks, where if you don't have card draw, sometimes you just draw Splinter Twin and you're not doing anything. But looks like our opponent did have card draw. We just took it away from him, so that's cool. He, I mean, obviously, was really hoping to ephemerate that Mulldrifter and draw 6 cards over the next 2 turns. I can confidently say that Spellbinder was completely backbreaking, which I love. And that we need that, man. We've drawn 3 non-land cards out of 9 so far. Opponent's really tanking here. He's thinking if he wants to ephemerate our creature or if he wants to place Splinter Twin on it. Just kidding. That is the last card we wanted to see. I could see a scenario where I actually wanted to play Sunbaked Canyon here. The reason being, um, if he counters Showdown and next turn, I'd probably want to crack both these lands, but now I can only crack one. Don't care. That's all the action my opponent has. Things are coming up Millhouse. Rishon Import is actually probably the best draw we have here. We can actually cut him off red mana so he can't Sworn Twin us. Of course, that's gonna be 2 turns from now. If he has Deceiver, Exarch, or Pestermite, we're dead here. But the fact that he, I mean, he's just kind of hoping to top deck an answer. We can jam Glorybringer this turn and then hold him off of Splinter Twin. The game's gonna be quickly over. We draw 1 mana. Ooh, that's not bad either. So it's very important that we play our Rishon Import. We are giving him a window here to jam something, but I think I can confidently say if he doesn't have anything at all and we just play Thalia next turn and start porting him, the game's going to be quickly done. You know, I've kind of griped about people taking forever on Magic Online. I just want to go back to my last turn. Our opponent probably sat for a couple minutes looking at Lightning Helix and our 1 creature on the board and thinking what the play was, and it's like, what the fuck's going through your head, dude? I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was blowing his nose, or it could have been literally anything. But it's like, come on. He's not F6 in here. It kind of scares me. Good. This this sequence of cards really could not have gone more in our favor. The fact that he's like, he didn't draw this last turn. I mean, simply put, if he drew Imperial Recruiter last turn, we couldn't have played Glorybringer. Let's just double check, make sure we have a stop on his turn. Yep. And we're not tapping down the blue source. If we tap down the blue source, he'll just play Deceiver in response. I mean, we can force his hand doing that. That's not bad. But I actually kind of like that. The reason being, oh, this is so good for us, actually. Look, so we're going to tap on his upkeep, his blue swords. He's forced to play his Deceiver Exarch because that's the only way we can play it. Then on our turn, we just Glorybringer it. I think Twin's a really good deck, but I mean, it can be really awkward. I think it's good that in the sense that a lot of decks aren't playing creature removal. I think creature removal's underrated. You know, just having a Swords of Plowshare just helps you in every single matchup, minus like maybe Storm. So yeah, he did not play Deceiver Exarch. That is crazy. He can't ephemerate his Imperial Recruiter. It's actually kind of an interesting line. Yeah, next turn we are turning motherfuckers sideways. Probably blowing up a Sunbaked Canyon in the process. So, quick question: what have we learned so far this match? If there's one thing to take away here, it's that we can cast Phyrexian spells with Direfleet Daredevil. That is news to me, and it's those little stupid tidbits of information that's going to help you in Cube over time. My puppy is going crazy. Probably. I hope that can provide some extra value to this YouTube channel. I hope people actually watch this. I don't know. I think I'm a good Magic player and I can provide. You know, speaking of like taking forever on the clock, this dude's at 5 minutes. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to attack all. He's going to ephemerate this, and then I can Palace Jailer it. That seems pretty good. And if he doesn't ephemerate and he just wants to trade with Runaway Steamkin for whatever reason, that's cool. And that's the list of top of the list of things I don't give a shit about. Honestly, this game would be completely different if I didn't Elite Spellbinder his Muldrifter. There would be a 6-card difference. Ephemerate it, my homie. Yeah, this. Why would you do that? What is this guy doing? So here, actually, still think I play Palace Jailer just for the card draw. I seriously don't know why you don't play Ephemerate. It's like, what else are you doing? I was hoping for Red Elemental Blast. Damn, it was an instant. I'm not used to being filmed. I look over, I see my little reflection in this little preview, and I got a smile. You know, I'm not such a beautiful face. He's like, it's funny. You know what he's doing. He's thinking about playing Deceiver Exarch, and I mean, yeah, I'll just force it. I don't care. Play your fucking Exarch. I was gonna do this anyways. And then, like, going back to like my original idea of like Richard importing his Inspiring Advantage, so he doesn't have a red source. I mean, just blowing up his Mox Ruby with Shieldbreaker here is going to be a pretty massive game. I seriously don't know how you have to have like Pyretic Ritual, Seething Song here, and a Kiki-Jiki. That's the line that could win here, but I don't think my opponent's there, which is cool. You know, I don't like it when my opponents. Um, he's going for Mox Ruby over Inspiring Advantage. Okay, so think about this. If he plays anything at all, oh, what's he doing? He has to. I think he has to leave Ephemerate up, but he has to leave 2 mana because I have Thalia. If he leaves Plains, Mox Ruby, and a Shieldbreaker his Mox Ruby, then that is a winning scenario because what he has to do. Uh, does he not realize I have Thalia? Unless he Glory Bringers um, my Thalia here, which is fine. He'd be the Monarch if he made that play, but he has to Glorybringer Thalia, hold up Ephemerate for Deceiver Exarch. Issue there is that he doesn't know that he's about to have no red mana next turn. And I mean, here's the thing: this is a complicated game, and I just want to tell my opponent, it's like, dude, you have 2 minutes on the fucking clock, and uh, according to you, you won a game 3, so I don't know what the fuck you're doing. It's just a huge pet peeve of mine with Magic Online. People milk the fucking clock, and it's just stupid. If you don't take Thalia here, yeah. I guess he gets. No, I didn't hit anything with Palace Jailer. You can be the Monarch. I don't give two shits. Actually, Ember Shieldbreaker is gonna pop up my Steam can cut quite a bit. That was a good fucking draw. Let's do this correctly. So I definitely won't play land. Remember, Magic Online, you always lead with the actions that you know you're going to take for turn for fact. Is you just dead here? He has to Ephemerate to tap Glorybringer. Of 2 blockers, yeah, he's just dead. See, he doesn't even get a fucking turn to have his lands cut off. Alright, sure, we're gonna tap like this. I'm surprised he just doesn't concede. I guess he hasn't seen lately, huh? At this point, you just, yeah, there we go. Alright, I'm gonna go take a little break and I'll be right back.